Hello, I'm Hazel, and today I'll be taking you through a yoga flow that's particularly designed for runners, so working particularly into the lower body. So to start, we'll be seated, and it can be useful to have a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you could use a belt or a cord from a dressing gown can work quite well. And it's also really handy to have a cushion you can sit on, and we'll also use it under our head when we lie down. So we'll start in the seated position, so make sure you have enough height underneath you to comfortably be able to sit on the ground, or if not, sit in a chair. Try and find an upright spine, and then softening your gaze or closing your eyes. Just taking some shoulder rolls. Finding that tall spine. Imagine there's a ribbon that's just gently lifting you from the top of your head. And gently start to draw your attention to your breath. If you can, taking that breath in and out through the nose. And just see if you can start to slow the breath down. So more consciously breathing in and out. And as you do this, you can get your belly to naturally move. So on the inhale, just allowing your belly to slightly expand. And on the exhale, the belly to relax. Inhale, it will expand. Exhale, relax. We're going to add in a box breath. So this is where we have a pause at the inhale and exhale. If you'd like to be in time with me, you take an exhale now. And then breathe in. And at the top of the breath, hold the breath here. And then breathe out. When you finish that breath at the bottom, hold again. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Breath in and hold. Breath out and hold. Final round, breathing in and hold. And then breathe out, allow all the air to come out. And at the bottom here, hold. Up for a maximum of 10 counts. And then, without causing any strain to the breath, taking a relaxed inhale. And allowing your breathing to return to normal. If you've had your eyes closed, just flutter them open. Give the hands a little shake. If you've had your legs crossed, maybe give them a little wriggle, a little shake out, and reset. You can always put the other foot in front. And breathe your arms up. And as you breathe out, let that right hand come down to your side and reach and stretch over. Breathing into your side body, even as a gentle look up as you do so. And on your next inhale, send the arms up. And find your way to the other side. Again, perhaps rotating to look up. Inhale, send the arms up. And we'll rotate this time, taking a hand across and having a little look behind you. And then coming back to the center, breathing in. And breathe back, rotate the other way. Come to the front, open the arms wide, lift the chest, maybe a little lift of the chin. Breathe in here. And on the exhale, round, dip your chin, let the hands touch. Breathe in and open. And breathe out round. One more time. Right. Coming over, releasing, have a little shake. And we'll find our way into child's pose. Allowing the hands to stretch forward, knees to come wide, big toes to touch. Sinking those hips back and allowing the chest to float down. The head doesn't comfortably reach the ground, you can always pop your cushion there to support the head. And just take some breaths here. On your next inhale, drawing yourself up to a tabletop, so we'll pop our hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Pad in the knees as needed, particularly if you're on a hard surface. And just start with extending your right leg out behind you. And just push the ball of the foot into the ground. Pull up through the knee, so I've got my leg as straight as I can. And then I'm going to push back to stretch out through my heel. Just a couple more breaths. If you'd like to make it a bit more dynamic, just see if that left knee wants to float off the ground, the left shin floats off. And take that back down. Take that right leg in, extend the left leg, ball of the foot on the ground. Straighten the leg, push the heel away, lean back. Looking for a stretch around the calf area. And maybe the option for the knee or the whole of that lower leg to come off the ground just for a couple of breaths. And land it back, step that foot in. Coming back to the right leg, and we'll extend out behind us this time, but at 90 degrees. So I've got the knee bent, toes pointing upwards, and start to circle from the hip. And see how big a circle you can make one way. Don't worry if you get any clicks and pops. And then opposite way, swap it over. Mobilising the hip joint. And then extend the leg out behind you. My foot's off the ground this time. And do very small circles. So I've got the toes pointing down. I'm circling from the hip. Try to keep all the tension out of your neck. And then circle the other way. Hopefully we can feel our glutes activating there. And then bend in 90 degrees again, point the toe and pulse upwards. Keeping some activation in your core. Excellent. And then bring that leg through, help it through if you need to with your hands, into a lunge position. Having the hands either side of your foot, or if that feels a bit challenging, have the hands on your knee as you start to move yourself forwards and back. We're just starting to mobilise into the hip a little more here. Only coming as far as feels comfy. If your hands were low down, start to draw yourself up onto your knee. And then find some stillness, lift your chest and breathe your left arm up. As you breathe in, push that hand upwards and then lean on the exhale over to the right side. I want you to see if you can feel that stretch coming down into your hip flexor here on the left. To help with that, keep pushing the hip forward. On the next exhale, letting that hand come to your block or the ground and open out to your right side. Take a breath in, look up. And as you exhale, take your right elbow and see if you want to touch your knee, maybe the shin. Some of you will be working with the ground. And then breathe in, rotate back up. So finding that point to aim for. And ideally combining it with the breath. Then inhale as you open. And an exhale as you rotate down. Next time that arm is up, hold it up there. And then place the hand back down. Take the right leg back. Give it a good shake out. And sit back to your child's pose. Allowing the knees to come wide. And again, floating the chest down. Next inhale, find your way back up, back to that tabletop position, and it'll be your left leg that you extend behind you, having the knee bent at 90 degrees, a little tone in the belly as you start to circle from the hip. See how big a circle you can make in one direction. And then swap it over. And then extend the leg out behind you. Try and keep it straight with the toes pointing down. And little circles. Just activating different muscles around our pelvis here. And then see if you can circle the other way. And then bend in 90 degrees again, point the toe and do some pulses, keeping some tone in the belly so you're not overly arching through your low back. Right, and take that leg forward, help it through if you need to with the left hand. And let's come into our low lunge. Hands could be on the ground, or you're welcome to come a little higher. Moving forwards and back, gently starting to mobilise into the hip. Keeping the breath going, keeping the jaw relaxed. If you've been low down, come up onto the knee. Sink the hips in and breathe that right arm up. Pull in for your belly as you breathe in and lift. And on the exhale, leaning to the left side. Drawing in here will help you get that stretch into your hip flexor. On the exhale, that right hand will come to the block or the ground, opening out with the left arm. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, that left elbow coming downwards towards knee, shin, or the ground. Find that spot to aim for. And again, see if we can move with the breath. Breathing in and opening. And breathing out and rotating down. Make this your last one. Then floating a hand back down. Take the left foot back. Give it a little shake out. And then come back to your tabletop. You're very welcome to do this next section in table, or tucking the toes, rooting the hands down and floating the hips up for downward facing dog. So I'd recommend a healthy knee bend. My feet are hip width apart. Hands are wide with my fingers spread and my gaze is looking between the big toes. And then gently pressing the chest towards the mat, keeping the head and the neck all relaxed. And see here if we can really start to find the breath. And taking all of your weight onto your right foot, I just hover that left foot just behind or slightly off the ground. And see if you can gently encourage your right heel towards the ground. You might be able to straighten up through the knee, feeling the stretch in your Achilles, through that calf at the bottom. On the inhale, coming up onto your tiptoe. On the exhale, taking the heel down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, down. One more time. Well done. Place that left foot back down. And then breathe that right leg upwards. Extend it out behind you. And as you breathe out, step forward. We're coming into warrior three. So I'm rising up, bending my right knee, hips facing forward. And we're going to have the hands on the hips to start. I've got the back heel rooted. We'll do some shoulder rolls. Releasing any tension from there. And then take the hands into your heart center as you take a breath in. As you breathe out, have a little go at leaning forward slightly. And just check how that feels. Try and keep your back heel rooted. Keep the face relaxed. Starting to work a little bit into the strength in the thighs. And you choose here, you might be backing off or you might be happy to round your spine. And start to devote your warrior by bowing forwards over that front leg. you came down, use your core to help you back up. And depending on how tight your hamstring is, you're welcome to repeat that. Or start to straighten the front leg for pyramid pose. My hips are still facing forward. Lift up your chest and take a breath in. And then just tip forward slightly. And just see how the back of your right thigh feels. If it's shaking or too much, please soften it. Otherwise, you may be able to come further forward. To start with, see if you can keep length in your spine. So we're aiming for a neutral spine. Your hands might find your thigh. Depending on how open you are, you might be able to walk the hands a bit lower. And for the last few breaths, some of you may find you can round over and take the hands to the ground. But you're not trying to get anywhere. Just see where the level of stretch is right for you. And then if we all bend our knee before we come up, breathing the arms up. And as we breathe out, let's just drop the arms. Nice. Let the hands come down to the ground, and I'm sliding down into a low lunge. So I'm up on the back toe now. Back knee is off the ground, and gently move forwards and back. If this is too intense, you're welcome to put the back knee down. There might be some circles one way. See if you can circle the other way. And then if it's not already, drop that knee, lifting both arms up and sink the hips in for your crescent lunge. As you breathe out, take the hands down. Step your right foot back. We're finding plank pose, so this might be a plank on your knees. Or you might be floating the knees off the ground for full plank, lining up the shoulders with your hips, pulling in the belly, keeping the breath deep and full. One more breath here. And then we'll transition into the ground, so you may need to drop the knees, wrap the elbows and lower your torso down. And breathing into your sphinx, coming onto your forearms. Have a look to your right side, half circle your neck. A little look to the left, a little half circle. And let's float down onto our belly. Make a pillow for your forehead with your hands. And just shake out the hips. And reaching back with your right hand, see if you can find your foot or your ankle. If you can't reach, you might want to use your belt or your strap. And see if you can lasso that foot. And then you're gently trying to draw the heel towards your buttock as you gently push your hips into the ground. Relaxing the face. If you have any low back tension, stay low. Otherwise, for the second half of this stretch, you're welcome to come up onto your forearm. This half bow pose. Pushing the foot now towards the hand as you open up through the chest. Really pinching in the low back, just bring yourself back down. Last few breaths here. And if you got hold of that foot, let it go. Float yourself back down. Find a little pillow for your forehead and give the hips another little shake from side to side. And then we'll transition back to that tabletop or downward dog. So we'll take the hands either side of the chest, wrap the elbows, tuck the toes, pull in through the belly and peel or power your way back up. As you come into the posture, maybe walk the heels up and down a few times. And then we'll take all the weight onto the left leg, encouraging the left heel down. I've got my right foot slightly off the ground, pulling up through the left knee. Hopefully feeling it in the left Achilles, that bit by the back of the ankle coming into the calf. And on the inhale, come up onto the tiptoe. And on the exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. And down, one more time. Lovely. Popping that right foot back down. And breathe the left leg up for three-legged dog. Push the foot away. And as you breathe out, we're stepping forward for your warrior one. Rooting the back heel, finding your way up. So the left knee is bent, squaring the hips off to the front, rooting down your back heel. And we'll take the hands into the heart center, do some shoulder rolls. Drawn in through the center and start to lean forward slightly. Tuck in the chin, lengthen the back of your neck. Start to feel the work in the lower body. And you may back off, or you may decide to come further down. And you may find you can bow over that front leg, keeping the breath deep and full. If you came down, use that core to help yourself all the way back up. And we'll start to straighten the front leg now for pyramid pose. Squaring the hips off again, lift the chest. And just tip forward very slightly. Check how the back of the left thigh feels this time. If it's too intense, just bend that knee again. Otherwise, start to make your journey forwards, keeping length in your spine first. Hands may start to work their way further down, depending on how open you are. Remember, you've got nowhere to get to, just see where the stretch is right for you. If it's shaking, that's a great indicator you've gone too far. And for the last few breaths, you're welcome to bow the head over. See if you can find that breath. And then let's all soften that knee before coming back up. Breathe the arms up, stretch up, tense, and drop it down. Very nice. Sliding the hands to the ground. Come down to your toe at the back for low lunge and start to gently move yourself forwards and back. And again, drop the knee if needed. Find a little circular movement. And then dropping the knee, breathe the hands to the knee or up into the air, sinking in for crescent lunge. Floating the hands down. Stepping the left foot behind you. Coming into your plank, knees or floating up. Keeping the breath deep and full. Find your transition to the ground, wrapping the elbows. And again, breathing into your Sphinx pose. See how this feels on the low back. If it's feeling open, you're very welcome to extend the hands forward, floating the elbows off the ground for cobra, as long as the neck and shoulders can stay relaxed. Keep rooting the tops of your feet down. One more breath. And then let's float it down, make a pillow for your forehead. Shake out those hips. And it'll be your left hand that you reach back. So find the left foot or ankle. Again, using your strap if you can't quite reach. And gently start to draw the heel towards the buttock and push your hips into the ground. And again, any tension in the low back, let's stay with this option. Or you're welcome to join me floating up for half bow pose. And the stretch changes slightly as you push your foot into the hand. Opening up a little through the shoulder. One more breath here. And again, let's let go of that foot. Oh, have a little relax down. Find some belly breaths. Maybe there's a gentle rock of your hips from side to side. We'll find our transition. You choose this time if you prefer to do 5 breaths in downward facing dog or your child's pose. Coming into the posture, perhaps as a breath out through the mouth. Seeing if we can find ease here. Those in downward dog, lovely bent knees, so you can take tension out of your back. Keep the hands rooted. And there is no rush to get there, but we're all going to meet in a forward fold at the back of our mat. So those in downward dog, walk the hands back. Soothe the bent knees so that your belly touches your thighs. Option to drape the arms or to hold the opposite elbow. And just very gently rock from side to side. On your next inhale, come to half lift, hands to shins, lift up through your spine. Breathe out, fold. We'll do a Pilates roll up here. We're going to drape the arms, pull in the belly, and vertebrae at a time. Slowly roll your spine up, keeping soft knees. Keep drawing in through the belly. The final part to come up will be your head. And just take a moment once you're fully upright. Rooting down with your feet, spread your fingers. And just taking your awareness back to your breath a moment. Awesome. Right, let's come to some balance. As ever, if you need anything to hold on to, feel free to move around the space. And if you've got quite a spongy mat, it might be better to come off the mat. We're going to do a pigeon. So starting with your right leg, lift it off the ground, just see how your balance is doing today. Then start to soften that supported leg and see if you can cross the foot. You're aiming for the ankle to be just above your kneecap, sort of in this figure of four position. And again, if balance is an issue, it's better to hold on to something so that you can stay in the stretch. So for some, you might just be working with staying here and trying to keep that foot upright. Others will be really trying to encourage that knee out to the side and starting to bend the supporting leg. So we can essentially start to take a seat. So my hips are going to start to move backwards, keeping lifting the chest to begin, hands into the heart center. So I'm in a semi-squatted position, active foot, encouraging that knee out to the side. And keep your breath deep and full. Find a point to focus on. Taking one more breath. If you come low, very slowly start to draw yourself back up. We're going to have a go at picking up that knee. So 2 hands onto that knee. And if you've leaned forward to do that, see if you can reach back upright and draw the knee up towards you. If it's too much to hold there, you can always hold your hands under your thigh if that's a bit easier. If you fall out, don't worry, come back in. There might be one hand and one hand for support. Keeping the breath deep and full. Can you straighten that supporting leg? So I'm now trying to really push that foot into the ground. Standing up tall. And then see if you can let go of your leg, but hold it there. Your hands can always come out for balance. See if you can take the leg out to the side. Take it back to the front. Take it out to the side. Back to the front. Well done. Take it down. And give that supporting leg a good shake. Well done. We'll work our way to the front of our mat. Find mountain pose, spreading the toes, spreading the fingers, lifting the chest. And on the next inhale, breathe your arms up. And as you breathe out, forward fold, bend your knees. Floating down. Breathe in, half lift, hands come to the shins, find length in your spine. Breathe out, fold. And then we'll step back to that plank position. Remember, you can always have your knees down. Find your transition down to the ground. Breathe into the back bend, so you might be working with Sphinx, that cobra, or if you're comfortable coming higher, as long as you keep your breath deep and full. And then float your chest down, make a pillow again for your forehead, and just shake out your hips. And just take yourself back to Sphinx so you can glance easily towards me. And there'll be the option of doing bow pose. You're very welcome to just rest and not do this, but if you'd like to give it a go, your head will come down and you'll reach back with both hands and see if you can find both ankles. You probably do need to be able to reach your ankles. The option is to keep the head down, or for 3 breaths, push in the hands into the feet and lift it up. So if you'd like to join in, you're not already there, finding your way here now. But you probably won't be able to look at me while you're doing that, so I'll talk you through it now, or you're very welcome to stay in Sphinx. So reaching back if you're not already there, it'll just be 3 full breaths that you'll do, pushing the hands into the feet and lifting up through the chest. And then once you finish your breaths, floating down, make a pillow for your forehead. And give it a nice little shake. And again, you can decide if you'd like to come to child's pose or your downward facing dog for the next 5 breaths. Yeah, a little breath out through the mouth maybe as you arrive. Finding a deep and full breath. And again, we'll meet in that forward fold. So finding the way to the back of the mat. Welcome to hold the opposite elbows again. Or if you want something a little more intense, you can reach your hands behind you, linking the hands and extend them up and away. Letting all the tension come out at the head. Keeping the breath deep and full. If you've had your hands linked, let them go. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, fold back down, bend your knees, and we'll try the Pilates, roll up again. Drape the arms, tuck in the chin, pull in the belly. Slowly, vertebrae at a time, rolling up. That final bit to come up will be the head. And again, we'll just pause here a moment. Taking your awareness into the ground, contact point with your feet, finding your breath. Great, and we'll set up for our pigeon on the other side. So you'll be using your left leg, again, finding some support if needed or coming off of your mat. One side can feel delightfully different to the other, so let's see how this side feels. So see if you can catch your balance, see if you can find a little shelf, the ankle aiming just above the kneecap, knee coming out to the side. We're drawing in the core to help us with our balance. If you're feeling wobbly, keep the arms out and take them in. And you might be staying high, working with your balance, or you might want to start to take a seat. Active foot, encouraging the knee out, you start to sink back. Try and keep a neutral spine, so you are leaning forward, but you're not rounding at all. Finding a point to focus on. If you've come low, gently start to draw yourself back up. And that same leg, see if you can reach and take hold. You might be reaching around the knee, underneath the thigh. Once you have hold, see if you can come upright. Catch your balance again, drawing that knee upwards. And see if you can really lengthen the supporting leg. Pull up through that knee. Find this tall position. And keeping the leg where it is, see if you can let go of it. Arms can come out to the side. And take the knee out to the side. Take it back to the front. Out to the side. Back to the front. Well done. Take it down. Oh, give it a little shake out. Have a little jig. And we'll find our way back to the front of the mat into mountain pose. Rooting down the feet. Spread the fingers. Breathe the arms up. As you breathe out, forward fold. Soft knees. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, fold back down. Finding your way into plank. Coming through your vinyasa, taking the chest to the ground. Breathing into your back bend. And let's all float the chest down. Make a pillow again for the forehead and just shape out those hips. And we'll push up onto our knees and come to puppy dog pose. So we'll have the toes tucked, hips are above the knees, hands stretch forward, and the chest floats down. Slightly different to child, slightly different stretch. And on your inhale, carefully find your way up. We're going to come into a seated position. We're going to come to hurdle. I'll do the opposite to you. And I'll do it this, I'll do it this way on my mat. I think it'll be easiest. Hopefully you'll be able to see. So you guys are going to have your right leg in front. And we're aiming for 90 degrees roughly of both knees. And then have your body sort of facing the front now, basically. So hopefully you can sort of set this up okay. And to start with, lean on that right arm so you can sort of lean away and it'll feel a bit less intense to be in this hurdle position. We're going to start off with a stretch. So if possible, you'll lean less but start to lean forward. So you'll be leaning towards your front right thigh. Taking hands either side and just see how far your body wants to come. You might be more upright, others might find they can come down onto forearms, or you can float the head down. It should be a stretch for the hip, a little bit for the groin as well. And on the next inhale, draw yourself back up. And then we're going to do a little bit of mobilisation. So it's the back leg that's going to be moving now. Pop your right hand to the side for support. And just see if you can just lift your knee off the ground. So I'm keeping the back foot down and I'm pivoting and lifting the knee. If you want to make it harder, you lean away less, come more upright. If you'd like a challenge, have both hands off the ground. And it is a little harder, lifting that back knee up. Just one more. With your hands lifted up, pop that right hand back down. Next one is to lift up the whole of the back leg, extend it forward, and then place it back down. Again, easier the more you lean away, harder the more upright you are. And if you'd like the challenge again, let go. See if you can really control the leg. So I'm controlling it forward, controlling it back. See if you can do one more. Well done. Place it back down. Final one, take the right hand back down. Push down with your feet and see if you can pivot the knees upwards and start to rotate to turn around and hurdle to the back. And then push down with your feet again. Maybe coming back to the front. And again, if you like the challenge, lean less or take the hands off. Do you gradually start to move to the side doing this one? Find your way back to the front. Take your back leg forwards, so both feet are in front of you, hands out to the side, and gently windscreen wipe your knees. Well done. Placing the feet down. I've got my hands pointing out to the side. Press down, just see how that feels for the hips to come off the ground. Have a little jig. If that feels okay, reverse table, pushing the hips upwards, tucking in the chin. Taking one more breath here. Awesome. And float the hips back down. And we'll set up for hurdle on the other side. So you guys will have your left leg in front. Taking that 90-degree position with both knees. But you're rotating your body towards the front thigh. And over the next few breaths, we're going to come to the stretch first. So we're leaning directly forwards. See how far you want to come. Some might be able to bow right over that leg. With any of these hip opening practices, notice if you're tensing your jaw. Just try and relax the jaw as you relax into the stretch as much as possible. And draw yourself back up. Let that left hand come to your side. And we'll start with that back knee lifting. So it's just the knee that lifts up. I'm keeping the foot on the ground, so I'm pivoting up. And again, you decide if you want to lean away more or letting go. You're trying to keep the rest of the body still. My body just rotates slightly. I'm sort of rotate a little. If you can, try and keep the body completely facing the front. Awesome. Placing the hand back down if you lifted it off. The next one is to lift up, extend forward and take it back. And then again, you decide the intensity, how much you'll come upright or let go. Try and do this one slowly. Try and place the whole of the leg back down. Try and control it through the movement. And then coming back in, rooting the hand back to start, and then we're going to be lifting the knees, keeping the feet where they are, pivoting, maybe coming all the way around to the back, and then pivoting back to the front. And again, you decide how much you lean or how much you keep yourself upright. Opening up through the hips. Hopefully finding our way back to the front. Taking the back leg through. Rooting both feet down. And just windscreen wipe the knees side to side. And then the option of reverse table. Hands out to the side, lifting the hips and pushing up. Keep the chin tucked with this version, keeping the breath full. Awesome, float the hips down. Right, we're going to start to lie down onto our back. Option to do reverse table to find your way there. So having the knees bent, planted roll down even. So we'll have the hands extended in front of us. Tuck in the chin, pull in the belly, and very slowly lie yourself down. So vertebrae at a time. See if you can control this motion. Causes you any discomfort, then just come straight down. And then once you're all the way down, bring those knees in and just gently hug them in and rock them side to side. In this position, see how comfy your neck is. You're very welcome to have your cushion under your head, just for a little bit of support. And you'll also need your strap for those that have a strap. I'll talk you through the option if you don't. So having whatever neck support you need, and have both knees bent to begin, and then we'll be extending our right leg up. And then the option, if you have a strap, to lasso your right foot. If you don't have a strap, you'll be holding behind the thigh, and we're trying to keep the leg reasonably straight if we can. Those working with the strap, you've got the option to wrap the strap if you've got enough length around your wrist just to get a really good grip. And then find a position where you're gently drawing the leg towards you, trying to keep the leg relatively straight, and you'll get the stretch in the back of the thigh, the hamstring and the calf. If it's too much on your calf, bring your strap closer to your heel, and that will take the stretch out of the calf and more into your hamstring. Alternatively, if you want more of a stretch in your calf, come more to the ball of the foot and you'll get a bit more. I like to go about halfway, so I'm sort of mid-foot, so I'm getting a bit of a stretch into both. And a little option here, as you draw the leg towards you, if you're past 90 degrees and it's not shaking, you're welcome to straighten that left leg. But otherwise, if you're more tight, it's going to be much more helpful to keep that left leg bent. So we're going to hold this for a few more breaths here. So make sure the leg is not shaking. If it is, back off. You can gently press that leg up towards the strap or into your hands. Try not to tense the shoulders of your face. And then we'll take the leg out to the right side slightly. So try and keep both hips on the ground as you let that leg, if it's a clock face, you come to about 2 p.m. out to the side, so you're not letting the hips lift off. You'll change that stretch slightly. Keep drawing it towards you at the same time. Keep pulling up through the knee. And carefully draw the leg back to the centre. And just take it very slightly to the left. So again, if it's a clock face, you'll be going to about 11. Try and keep the leg straight. And we'll see if we can get the ITB, so a stretch in the outside of your right thigh. This one works best if you really try and keep your hip down. Don't take it too far over. And keep drawing it towards you. Make sure there aren't any tension patterns that have come in. Keep that face relaxed. Well done. Soften the knee. Bend the other knee if it was straight. Give that leg a good little pat down. A little jiggle through the thigh. A little rub. And then same leg a second. Same right leg, just take your hands down without the strap, straighten that leg, and just hover it an inch off the ground and then lift it up towards you. And just see where it comes, doesn't matter if it doesn't come as high as mine. And then take the leg up, take it out to the right side, and then take it as far to the left, almost like a windscreen wiper, keeping the hips on the ground. And again, a little shake in the path. And we'll come to the other side. So starting with the left leg, right knee bent. Again, if you don't have a strap, you'll be holding maybe the back of the thigh or the back of the calf. Strap's great because you can have a bit more leverage of the foot. If you've got a long enough strap, I would wrap it around your wrist to get a really good grip. Have enough length so you're not tensing your shoulders. And then find the point of stretch for this leg. It may be different to the other side. So that point where you can feel a stretch but you're not shaking. It doesn't feel too much. Think about where you've got the strap on your foot. So remember, if it's closer to the heel, it'd be less intense in the calf. Find your breath. And again, you decide if it's past 90, the option to straighten that right leg. As we settle into the stretch, notice if any tension patterns are starting to kick in. Now we'll be taking that leg out to the left side, aiming for about 10 o'clock if it's a clock. And we are not trying not anyway, to lift that right hip. So finding that stretch. Might be a little bit more on the inner part of your thigh. And come back to centre. And then we're going to go very slightly to the right. So just 1 p.m. on the clock face, keeping the leg straight. Pulling that through your knee. Maybe getting the stretch on the outside of the left thigh, but please don't worry if you're finding it hard to feel that. You will be stretching something, so try and keep that hip rooted. Strap down, give a nice thank you to your leg, a little pat, a little rub, bending that right leg, hands down, and just straighten the leg and hover it just an inch from the ground and then lift it up a few times. Just finding a little bit of free movement there. And then we'll draw both knees in again for a knee hug. Gentle rock from side to side. And come into a wide knee hug, so gently allowing the knees to come out wider. And we'll see how this one feels. I quite like to have some support of my hands on the outside of the thighs, so I'm sort of holding just outside of my knee, and then I'm straightening just the right leg out to the side, then take it back in, straighten the left leg out to the side. Option to repeat one leg at a time or extend both out into a wide V. And then bending both knees, hugging them in, or finding a happy baby if it's available to you by taking hold of the instep of the feet. If this is too intense, if the head comes off the ground, just come back to that wide knee hug instead. Maybe there's a little playful rock side to side. You can give the low back a little massage then at the same time. And allow the feet to find the ground with the knees bent. And gently windscreen wipe them side to side. And the next time they come over to the right side, allow them to fall down into a twist. And just see if you can root down the left opposite shoulder, maybe extending that arm. The head can turn to look to the left side if you'd like more of a stretch. Careful as you come back through the centre, and allow the knees to fall to the left side, rooting down your right shoulder and perhaps a little turn to the right side. And come back to centre. And it's time for our relaxation, Shavasana, most important part of the class. So see how you're feeling. If you need to have a little stretch of anything else before you can relax, please do. If there's any tension in your low back, keep your knees bent or pop a cushion under them. Otherwise, just start to extend your feet away, gently allowing the feet to roll out to the side. Hands can either stay on your belly or they might extend out. It can be nice to have the palms facing up. That can just help encourage these shoulders down. Depending on the weather where you are, it's pretty warm where I am, so I'm not going to have a blanket or anything, but make yourself as snug as you can at home as needed. And just really take some time. It's so easy here not to take rest. Just for 2 minutes here, I'm going to do absolutely nothing. Just encourage you to relax back into your mat. Nothing to plan, nothing to achieve. And in a couple of minutes, I'll let you know when to come back. Start to take your awareness back to your breath. Expand your inhale and your exhale. Breathing in some space into your belly and into your chest. And start to have a little stretch of your fingers and toes. Oh, reach those arms out. Extend your feet away. Oh, have a big stretch. And finding your way onto a side. And then back up to your seated posture. Just see if you can keep your eyes closed. Your gaze low just for a moment longer. Keep that awareness inwards. And just see how you are. See if anything has changed in the last hour. And on your next inhale, let those arms float up. As you breathe out, take the hands down into your heart centre. And I invite you to take your hands, head and heart towards the ground, giving thanks for these practices. And thank you for sharing the practice.